just joined up, Chris. Good evening, everybody. It says this Haynot is on the air. This is Len Mooney and Bob. You want to say hi?
You can say Bob Miller for me, Len.
I can say Bob Miller for you. Okay, this is Len Mooney and Bob Miller, and welcome to the first of our webinars in our Wealth Building Plus Mastermind series. And we're particularly happy to have you here tonight. I think, and there's Rick. Rick just showed up. Hello, Rick. Ellen, Sandy, Chris, Jake. Welcome aboard, everybody. We're particularly happy to have you here tonight. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of what we're going to do tonight. And I want to try to keep this. Our goal is to keep this to about a 45-minute presentation and have room for questions and answers at the end. So if you have questions, please store them up, send them to us, ask them, whatever. We are mostly going to be on PowerPoint. So as you know, for those of you who are familiar with this platform, webinars on air, while I'm on PowerPoint, I won't be able to see the chat. So you might have to store your questions. But let's get going right away. Bob, you have anything you want to say before we jump right in?
Oh, let's get it rolling.
Let's roll it. All right, I'm going to screen share. I'm running the PowerPoint, folks. So when the PowerPoint's up, you'll be hearing mostly me, and we'll be going back and forth between me and Bob. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Bob, you can see my screen, I hope.
Yes, I can.
And there is the opening slide. Once again, welcome everybody. The subject, the broad topic that I put out for tonight is the daily method of operation. And the reason for that is there are certain critical steps that we really have to do every day if we want to improve our life. And we're going to take you through what some of those steps are. And at the end, I'm going to show you my daily method of operation. Mine may not be the same as yours, but I'm going to give you an example of what I do, and you can copy it if you want. So let's just get going. The first thing I want to say to you, though, is that consistency is the name of the game. If you want to build your life, if you want your life to get better, if you want to make changes, you have to be consistent in implementation. I'm going to give you a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. First off, substantive change requires consistent daily action. And from Mahatma Gandhi, your beliefs become your thoughts. Just absorb that for a moment. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. You talk about your thoughts. Your words become your actions. You do things based on your words. Your actions become your habits. If you implement an action long enough, it becomes a habit. Your habits become your values, and your values create your destiny. And where we're going to be focusing starting tonight is on our beliefs that are going to become our thoughts, and in our habits that we're going to use to implement on a daily basis. Now, I want you to humor me. I would like you to do something for me. Close your eyes. Please, just close your eyes. Trust me, unless you're driving the car. If you're driving the car, don't close your eyes. Close your eyes. Got your eyes closed? Take a deep breath. Now, I want you, when I say go, I want you to make a mental list of the 3 to 5 people that you love the most in your life. A mental list. Go. Don't think about it. Just make the list. Don't overthink it. Make the list. 3 to 5 people. Okay, time's up. You got the list? Go ahead and open your eyes. Now, I have a question for you. Was your name on that list? Really? What do you think about that? You need to be number 1. Would you go to work hard for someone you didn't care about? Would you spend hours every day working on problems and projects for someone you didn't love? So you need to be number 1 on that list. And Bob's going to talk to you about that in just a moment. We're going to come off the screen share and go back to Bob here. But you need to make a list of all the reasons you love yourself. Now, Bob, can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, I can.
You want to? This is your slide, buddy. Take it away.
Okay. Can you see me? Why show up?
Say again?
do I show up on the screen? Can anybody see if I'm not, am I there now, or just sort of PowerPoint?
All I see now is the PowerPoint. Then I'm going to come off screen and come back to you.
All right. You said you're going to take it down, Len?
Okay. I was going to let you cover that slide. I'm taking it down.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. So
we're off the slide. We're off screen share. There you are.
Okay. So how do you do that? It's real nice for you to say, okay, let's love yourself. How do you do that? Well, I've done for the last 2 days. I just want to share something that I did that I've actually done this before, but I wrote it like in notebooks and things like that. But what I did yesterday, I began this yesterday. I actually wrote a love letter to myself about myself, and here it is, right here. Here's the love letter. I've got it's both sides. I was going to laminate it, but to make things quick, I put them inside of this sheet protector right here. Now, what the whole purpose of this is get quiet, get real quiet. You need some time. This is not like a 5-minute exercise. You take as much time as you possibly can. Get yourself really, really, really quiet. Then just sit there and think. Maybe turn on some real nice soft music or something. But just go back and think about all the reasons of all the great things that you've done in your life. Maybe you opened up a door for a person. Maybe you gave somebody some money that needed money. Maybe it could be anything. You said something nice. You improved somebody's life. Doesn't have to be anything major, but if it's major, write it down. But all the little things, write it down. The only rule is nothing that's not empowering goes on the sheet of paper. The only thing on the sheet of paper are good things about you. This is all about you, just the important things, the loving things, the things that made you proud, the things that make you grateful in life. Could be your family, it could be a friend, it could be anything at all, but just write something that you can look at. If you're having a bad day when you wake up in the morning, so you just pull this out. You pull this out and here it is. Here's your validation. These are things that you have written down. Now, what I do in our sheet, and we'll get into this a little bit later on, but in our workbook, I actually bought myself a little diary for this program. I've got this. It's a low cost little diary, and I'm keeping this sheet protector thing right here, right in the very beginning of it. So when I open up my workbook, it's right there. It's a lot bigger than so. I'm always going to see. I'm not going to lose it. I've done things like this in the past. And I put them in a notebook or something, and then I have no idea what those notebooks are. But I'm not going to lose this. This is going to stay in my diary all the time. It's always there. So if I wake up in a bad mood where I'm not thinking good thoughts about myself, like we always do, we start thinking about I'm this or I'm not that or whatever. Well, I have validation right here that's going to trump all those bad things. So I implore you, before you begin this program or any program, spend the time. If it takes you 2 days, fine, do that. But just write down all of the cool things about you, because you're amazing. You've done amazing things. You know you have. Don't focus on those couple bad things that maybe you're not proud of. Focus on all the good things that you don't even remember, all these great things that you did. That's why it took me 2 days. Then after a while, you start building momentum, and more good things keep coming into you until you start writing them down. And it's like, wow, I did a lot of really cool things in my life. And so that's what you want to begin your day at. And, you don't have to read the whole thing every day, but just have it there. Just have it there. You know that it's something you can look at and validate your self-worth. So that's great. That's it. That's all I really want to say, and I just want to talk about the importance of doing that.
Okay, thank you, Bob. That's great. That really is. And it's so vitally important. I'm going back to screen share now, and we'll be back on the PowerPoint. You can see the PowerPoint. And I just want to reemphasize, for those of you who are in the Guru Code, Larry Hoffman talked quite a bit about this too, the need to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to do the things for yourself that you need to do. So it's very, very important to find out all of your good qualities and to celebrate your wins in life. Because what holds us back many times is the fear that we're not good enough. We're not enough. Let's travel on. The next question is, what is it that you want? So where do you want to go with your life? Jack Canfield from the Success Principles points out to us that many people don't get what they want because they don't know what it is. Do you know what you want? So the first step in getting what you want is to decide what it is. I can't sail my sailboat across the ocean if I don't know where I'm going. But the sad reality is many of us tend to drift through life without ever really defining what we want out of life. So what do? We get what life gives us. We get what many of us have. We get to sit around and moan and groan and complain about all the crap that's happening to us because life is giving it to us and we're not making it happen for us. So let's take a stab at defining what we want, shall we? And we're not going to do the whole exercise on defining what we want tonight. We don't have the time, but I'll give you a resource where you can go to and spend more time working on it if you want to. You need a vision. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you now, if you don't have a vision for what your life looks like 1, 3, 5 years from now, you're not going to get there. How simple is that? How profound? If you don't know where it is, how will you know how to get there? You need a vision. And your vision wants to be aligned with your core values. It wants to be aligned with your major life purpose. And you go, oh my God, my major life purpose. How in the God's world am I supposed to know what that is? But you can elucidate your life purpose. You can define your core values, and you can sync everything up so that you hum along like a finely tuned machine. You jump out of bed with enthusiasm because you know who you are and where you're going. And your daily actions are aligned with your core values, your strengths, and your vision, and with your belief in yourself that comes from building the love that Bob talked about. Pregnant pause, Bob. Anything to add?
I was mute there. No, Lynn. I think just keep going with this. I think we're right where we want to be right there. Just love yourself and have that vision. It's so important before we do anything else.
All right, let me keep traveling on. Now, some of you are in network marketing. Some of you may not be. Some of you may have home-based businesses. I don't know. But many times we're told that we have to have a why. We're told that we need to know why we're going to do things. And we need to have a why that makes us cry. But the reality is your why that makes you cry is never going to get you where you want to go. You need to have a vision. It's bigger than your why. Your vision is who you want to become. It's the legacy you want to leave for your family, your friends, your children, your grandchildren. It's the impact you want to have on planet Earth. It's bigger than your why. Most people start with, I want more money. That's not what you want. You want something much bigger than that. We'll come back to that in a minute. Start with a clean piece of paper. And this is another exercise for you to do. Take a day or two. We got 3 months to work on this. So it's okay to take a couple of days and write down what your life looks like in, say, 5 years. And the reason I'm going to pick 5 years is 1 year is too short, I promise you. 5 years is a reasonable time. If you really push me hard, I'll let you have 3. But create a statement about what your life looks like. What are you doing in 3 to 5 years? And don't contaminate this with thoughts of scarcity, because scarcity is what's going to keep you from getting there. Assume you have all the resources required. Describe your life in great detail. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Make it real, make it big, make it bold. Close your eyes, see it, experience it, believe it. Where do you live? What do you drive? Where do you go on vacation? What are your relationships like? Where do your kids go to school? What charities do you participate in, or projects and activities? What do you want your life to be like? It's not just goals. It's a vision of where you're going. And the reality is you may never get there, but the enthusiasm you'll generate by being on the path and making progress is what makes you happy every day. It's making progress. If you're not making progress, you're dying. The vision's going to pull you through the tough times. That's the thing that's going to get you to keep going when you're having a bad day. And believe me, there will be bad days. You can expect them. You can plan for them. Be prepared for them. And your vision of where you want to take your life is what's going to pull you through. You're going to have that picture in your mind of where you're going. And you're going to kick those bad days in the butt. And you're going to keep right on moving on. Believe it. From Robert Hollis in his book, How Is That Working? The power of faith comes from your ability to imagine how you will be when your dream has been fulfilled, long before your dream manifests outwardly. And you might ask, what does this vision have to do with my daily method of operation? You promised me a DMO tonight, Len. Well, we're going to get there. You're going to see how all this fits together. Trust me, I'm taking you on a journey. But there's another message that I need to bring to you, and that is if you don't work on your mind continuously, it will move toward disorder and chaos. And the result of that is, I had somebody send an email or send a message today. Their problem is procrastination. Procrastination comes from the weeds growing in your mind. It's fear, it's guilt, it's overwhelm, poor health, poor finances, poor relationships. What many people have, it's because we don't tend to our mind. And the natural order of the universe is to deliver us chaos and uncertainty. And that's what we have to work on a daily basis. And that's, again, why we're moving toward a DMO. We have to start with our thoughts. You have to conceive it and believe it. You can achieve it, but you have to believe it. So how do you overcome the limiting beliefs that have been ingrained into you? No, you can't. You're not good enough. Our family doesn't do things like that. Nobody in our neighborhood ever did that. No, you can't. Don't do that. No. You've heard no 400,000 times before you're 18 years old. That's what we're going to work on for the next 90 days. We're going to be working on ridding ourselves of the weeds. And those negative thoughts are there. They're going to creep in, and you got to guard against them. You got to pluck them out every day, and that's part of where our daily method of operation comes in. One thing you might try is keeping a journal. Write down negative thoughts when you have them, and that's a really powerful way to begin to pluck the weeds out of the garden. Is to write down negative thoughts. Note when you had it and what the circumstances were, and then reformulate the negative thought with a powerful, empowering question or an enabling question. We'll talk about enabling questions in just a few moments. But this is powerful stuff. This is the stuff that will help you reprogram your mind. Now, this is not a selling webinar, and I am not going to sell anything on here tonight, but I do have a thing called the Vision Workshop that you can access at the URL I've listed there. It is a for sale course. It is a 5-module course. And I offer it to you just so that you know that the resource is out there. If you want to dig deeper, it will take you through 5 modules and show you how to find out your core values, elucidate your life purpose, and craft your vision and build the belief in yourself that's needed. And it's not very expensive either. But I just want you to know that it's available if you want to dig deeper into some of this material. It's a several-hour workshop, not a 40-minute presentation. Traveling on, we're going to draw from Hal Elrod's work in a book called The Miracle Morning. And there are now something of order 50 versions of The Miracle Morning. There's The Miracle Morning for nurses and doctors and salesmen and whatever. But the fundamental concept is, once again, it's a DMO. It's a daily method of operation. And Hal uses the acronym SAVERS, standing for silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing, which is the same as writing. And we're going to look at each one of these and how it can impact our day and how we can put it all together and create our DMO. So, silence. What does that mean? It means exactly what it says. It means get quiet. Think about who or what you're grateful for. Maybe it means think about your vision. I'll show you how that fits into my DMO. Maybe it means to review what you like about yourself that you wrote, that Bob talked about. Name at least one person you're grateful for every day. And you can do this. You can meditate. Larry Hockman does Tai Chi, which I do too, by the way. It can be whatever works for you. There's no one size fits all here. But it's a moment of silence. It's a moment to give thanks. It's a moment to pray if you like. It's a moment to be grateful, to thank God that you're alive another day and breathing, and to move on with your life. The next step is affirmations. Now, I'm going to spend a little time on affirmations here. The first thing I want to point out to you is the human brain cannot process a negative command. Do you realize if you tell your child don't spill the milk, the child has to process spill the milk before it can process the don't part? The consequence of that is the child usually spills the milk. And my favorite example is yelling, "Don't, be careful, you're going to fall." And the child inevitably falls. And our natural response is, "See, I told you." Well, duh. The brain doesn't process negativity. It processes the positive command. So that's one of the reasons when we formulate affirmations, We have to formulate them as positive things. And I know that for some people, affirmations are difficult and they don't always work, and I'm going to address that in a minute, but there are two ways to use all this to our advantage. We want to imprint on our conscious mind our affirmations, our daily reading and mind training. We want to focus on our goals, on our objectives, on our vision, on our desired result, and we have to build our belief that we can achieve it. And we want to also invoke the enormous power of the subconscious mind. And this is a quote from one of several books, but it is believed that any thought held long enough and with conviction and emotion must be acted upon by the subconscious mind, which will strive to create the physical equivalent. Do you realize that your brain tries to create the physical equivalent of your thoughts? This is why for so many of us, we get more bills, because that's what we're thinking about. So, I want to talk to you about this thing called why. Most people, when you ask people why they want to do something, most people say, well, I want more money. Really? Let's dig a little deeper, because that's not really why you want to do this stuff. What you want is the experience that the money can give you. You want the joy, the happiness. You want to go to Disneyland with the kids. You want to take a vacation. You want to have freedom in your life, time to do things. So let's build some affirmations. Let's start with I am. This comes from Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles. Start with I am. The affirmations must be positive. Remember, the mind does not process negativity. They must be present tense. I am. They have to be brief. Now, Jack recommends at least one action word, and he likes words ending with ing. Include at least one dynamic feeling or emotion, and frequently add or something better, and they must be repeated often and with conviction. So, for example, I am enjoying my financial freedom. Enjoying, feel the emotion. I am enjoying my financial freedom. I am happily living smoke-free. I am happily living free of alcohol and drugs. I am achieving success. I'm building my network. I'm attracting the right people to me. I am the leader people are looking for. I am living in a fill in your blank house, or better, I have a wonderful, loving, caring spouse. So those are some examples. Now, many people struggle with affirmations because the minute I say, I'm enjoying my financial freedom, the little monkey between my ears goes, no, you're not, no, you're not, you still have bills, you haven't paid your bills, So you got these little monkeys that are sitting in there chattering at you. There are a couple ways around the little monkeys. One is to reformulate the affirmations as intentions. I intend to be financially free by, put a date on. I intend to build a team of 100 representatives by, put a date. I intend to weigh by date. Be specific, be measurable, and train your brain to seek the solution to the problem that you're posing for it. Ask empowering questions. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, say, how can I afford that? Your brain is a solution-seeking mechanism. It will strive to find the solution to the problem if you give it a problem to solve. It will work on it. So instead of saying, not me, say, how can I? Instead of saying, I can't, ask, how can I? Instead of, I can't go, ask, how can I go? And let your brain work on the problem. Let your subconscious mind sleep on it. We're going to wrap up affirmations here, but I'm going to implore you to please turn off the 10 o'clock news. You don't need it. It's nothing but negativity. Do not flood your brain with negativity at 10 o'clock at night before you put it to bed. If you flood it with negative news about what's going wrong in the world, guess what you're going to think about all night long? You're going to go to bed thinking about the crap instead of thinking about what you want. So you have to believe in abundance. You have to state your affirmations, both in the morning, first thing in the morning, and last thing at night. Some people have advocated programming them into your cell phone with an audio file so you can listen to them. You lay your phone under your pillow and play your affirmations. Read, listen to positive mind-expanding books and tapes. And for God's sake, Don't get up and turn on the news in the morning. There is nothing on the television that you need to know about. Nothing. Unless you're the president, then maybe there's things you need to know about. But for the most part, we don't need the TV. I threw my TV away a long time ago, and I'm better off for it. And believe me, I get all the negative news I need from Facebook. I don't need the television. So feed your mind what you want. If you feed your subconscious mind thoughts of fear, scarcity, negativity, chaos, and failure, that's what it's going to work on for you. If you feed it thoughts of abundance, health, wealth, and happiness, that's also what it's going to work on for you. So what do you want out of your life? You want more bills, or do you want financial freedom? So I hope I've convinced you to work on your mindset. Without reinforcement, the weeds will grow, and those weeds are procrastination, fear, doubt, uncertainty, overwhelm. For many of us, it's been programmed into us for many years. It's going to take a while to program this stuff out. You can't overwrite the old software overnight. Don't expect instantaneous results, but do expect that if you do it every day, you will get results. You must weed the garden every day. Read good books. Do your affirmations. Review your vision. Take action towards your dominant goal every day. Back to savers. Remember Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning Savers. We're on the V, visualization. For many, creative visualization is hard. I personally use crutches such as YouTube movies or mind movies that portray what I want. So I want a new RV. So I have a YouTube movie about my new RV, and I go watch it. I watch it frequently, almost every morning. I want to take a scuba diving trip to the Socorro Island. So I looked up a YouTube video about diving in Socorro. I'm planning to go to Africa. I also have my own mind movie. And if you don't know what a mind movie is, you might want to take a look at it. It's a movie that you can make about your life, yourself. You put your own pictures, your own thoughts, your own affirmations into it, and you have a 3-minute video that's all about you. It's customized to you. And I'll put a link down there if you want to go find out more about mind movies, or send me a request. That's a long link to copy. Send me a request, and I'll send you the link. Moving on through savers, exercise. Discover the benefits of Tai Chi as an example. You don't have to do Tai Chi. You got to do something. Look, do you love yourself? Do you want to take care of yourself? If you don't, it's okay. But if you do, and if you want a better life, you got to take care of your body. You got to eat well. You got to exercise. I do a morning stretch and a Tai Chi routine. Go for a walk. Take your cell phone with you. Put positive audios on your cell phone. Go do yoga, but do something good for your body. At least 3 days a week, at least a half hour a day. Do exercise of some sort. Savers, moving on. Reading. Read at least 10 pages of a good book every day. And I know some of you are sitting down there. If you haven't hung up, if you haven't dropped off the webinar yet, I can't see right now, you're going, Len, I already get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I run full steam till 10 o'clock at night. When the heck do you think I'm going to do all this stuff? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But do you realize that 10 pages a day equates to 300 pages a month? That's 10 to 12 books a year. You can change your life in a year reading 10 to 12 good books. And I have a recommended reading list for you. If you say, what do you want? What should I read? Here's a list. And I know you can't copy the whole list on, but if you ask me for it, I'll send you a copy. Or if we think it's the right thing to do, we'll put the whole PowerPoint presentation up in the group. There is a replay. This is being recorded, so you can go back and watch the replay. And finally, writing. Journal your thoughts and feelings, your desires, your aspirations. Write in the present tense as if it already is. You might want to consider learning pray, rain journaling. And I'm not going to spend any time on that tonight because we don't have the time to spend. But pray, rain journaling is just a technique for journaling on a daily basis what it is you want your life to be like. It's taking that vision and re-recording it daily and impressing it on your mind and moving toward it. And Jeanette Ma, we actually have, for those of you who are familiar with Lunch with Len, we had Jeanette Ma, who's the creator of Pray Rain Journaling, on Lunch with Len, and there is a replay of that interview with Jeanette that's available. Again, I can put it in the group if people want it. So, I'm going to, Bob, I'm going to come off the screen share for a moment for two reasons. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you, Len.
Good. Bob, is there anything you want to add? I'm going to turn on some light. The sun went down while I was talking.
Len's working on solar power here.
What's that?
I said, you're working on solar power.
That's right, I am.
I think this is great, Len. I think just keep on going. You know where I'm coming from. I come from the whole practice gratitude and crafting your love letter to yourself. That's my contribution to this is that.
So now we're going to put a bow around this whole thing. We're going to wrap it up. So is there a separate group for this?
Yes, Chris.
Yeah, yes, there is. And affirmations that was brought up. Yes, Chris, I agree with you. I like affirmations, and it is my intention to do an entire webinar on affirmations because that subject is deep enough that I can't cover it adequately and cover everything else tonight. So tonight I'm skimming the surface of some of these concepts and I want to put a package together, and you're going to see in a moment how this all comes together. And seriously, in all honesty, I've been wanting to do a complete webinar on the topic of affirmations. It's been on the back of my mind for several weeks. So you can look for that coming real soon, maybe next week. Because yes, I absolutely love affirmations. But for people to do them right, I need to slow down a little bit and really explain the process. So, okay. Any other comments? I'm going to also open the Q&A box. So the Q&A box is open if people want to ask a question. Oh, it's disabled. Why is that? I don't know why it is. All right. Well, if it's disabled, then we won't use it. Come on. I'm going to go Hangout Toolbox. I want to get the comments back. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happened to the comments. They disappeared. Chat. All right, let's get the chat back. Come on. That's the group chat. That's not the one I want. Oh, webinars on air. There's the chat. Okay, very wonderful, Bob and Lynn. This will be life-changing. Awesome. Hi, Debbie. Didn't know you were on. Good, Sandy. All right, let me go back. We're going to go back to screen share, and we're going to put a bow around all this and wrap it up into a nice, tidy little package for you and answer all of those questions. So we're back on screen share. We are, where's my PowerPoint? Back on PowerPoint. PowerPoint, there you are. Okay, PowerPoint. Now, I want to change horses for just a moment. Part of wealth for many of us is building our home-based businesses. And there really are only two profit-producing activities in your home-based business, and reading Facebook isn't one of them. You can create content, and you can meet, greet, and talk to potential customers. That's all there is. Nothing else matters. And for many of us who are building home-based businesses, we get out of bed in the morning, we go through the whole day, and at the end of the day, we go, oh my God, I was busy, but I didn't get anything done. I didn't do anything I wanted to do. I didn't produce any profit-producing activities. And I'm going to refer back to the 90-day challenges that Justice and Adam have done. For those of you who are familiar with it, many of you are, some of you aren't, it's all right. The 90-day challenges were all about building that muscle, doing these 2 activities, and you were scored. You had a scorecard. You were scored on daily for how many people you talked to and how many pieces of content you generated. And pieces of content means write a blog, do a video. And for those of you who are in home-based business, I tell you, those are the only things that are going to make you money. Now, the creating content is the longer-term part of making money. If you were on the webinar last night with Ray Higdon, he talked about how his blog is making him $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month on autopilot. It took him 5, 6, 7 years to get there. I talked today on Lunch with Len about how my blog is actually producing new leads every day now, but it's taken me about 3 years to get it there. The shorter-term solution is meeting, greeting, and talking to potential customers. And there are lots and lots of ways to do that. There's lots and lots of courses about how to use Facebook, how to use social media, how to use Instagram, Twitter, it's LinkedIn, etc. But if those 2 activities aren't on your DMO, you're kidding yourself. You ain't going there. You're not going to get where you want to get to. So let's wrap it up. Let's talk about the DMO. And we'll talk about when you fit this into your already busy life. But I tell you this, without a DMO, you will founder and sink. And for those of you who question the use of the word founder, the dictionary definition of the word founder is to sink below the surface of the water. The ship struck a reef and foundered. That is actually the correct use of the word. I realize many people say flounder, but the fact is flounder is a fat, flat fish. Founder is what happened to the Titanic. And I tell you now, without a DMO, if you don't have one and don't stick to it, you are wasting your time. You are kidding yourself. You're fooling yourself. This is tough love. Hang it up. Watch the television. Open another cold beer, because that's all you're going to get. You're going to get distracted by every shiny object. And at the end of the day, you'll get the usual result. Well, I was busy, but I didn't get anything done. Come on. Oops, looks like a misspelling. Come on, be honest. How many of you have had that result before? I know I have. So let's not kid each other. We all know that result extremely well, which is why what I'm teaching you tonight is one of the most powerful lessons you will learn if you want to create any form of wealth for yourself. And when I use the word wealth, I use it in the all-encompassing term. I mean health, I mean financial, I mean relationships, I mean, Bob, what's the 4th pillar? Oh my God.
What do you, health, relationships, finances, and your mindset, Len. Your
mindset, sure.
Your emotional, mental mindset.
Thank you. But look, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. If you want to have good relationships in your life, you got to practice gratitude daily. You got to thank the people and tell them you appreciate them. How many of us, and I'm going to go off on a tiny little tangent right now. Bear with me. We'll be done in just a few minutes. We are at the end. You may not see the end in sight, but it's in sight. But how many times do you hear somebody say, oh, no, I don't tell my wife I love her. She knows I love her. Really? Really? Well, she knew that the last time you told her. If it was 10 years ago, you know, you might want to think about that. So I'm telling you, every aspect of your life falls into this DMO. You need to have it there if you want to improve your life. Your health. You can't wait till you're in good shape to go to the gym. You got to start now. You need to contribute to your health every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a week, or it's not going to get any better. So let's look at DMOs. You got to create a schedule and plan the necessary and important activities. If you don't plan them, they won't get done. And remember, as trite as it is, failing to plan is planning to fail. So let's go. Let's make that plan now. Now, what I'm going to put up, something you're not going to be able to read. By the way, I was taught about 40 years ago that every PowerPoint presentation has to have at least one unreadable slide. But you don't have to read this slide. You just have to understand it philosophically. And if you want it, you're welcome to have a copy of it. I'll put it in the group if that's what people want. But first, I want to talk about 5 things to do before you even get out of bed. Bob, you want to take this one?
Expressing gratitude, one, Lynn. How I do, I name at least one person every single day who I'm grateful for, and I call that practicing gratitude success. And not only am I expressing it, I let the person who I'm grateful for know that. And I think that's what separates that from all the other forms of gratitude. Because it's so easy just to say, yeah, I'm grateful for this. It's just something that people just kind of brush off. Yeah, I'm grateful. And they'll say, I'm grateful for all my family. I'm grateful for all. But they don't specifically tell each individual person that they're grateful for them and why. And what that does, it creates a whole momentum of more. They feel good, you feel good, and then it also adds into the law of reciprocity, because once you tell them that you're grateful for them, now they feel like they want to give back to you, and it just creates a whole cycle of momentum. So it's a beautiful exercise. I've been doing this every day this year, and it's changed my life.
Okay. Now, how about setting your intentions for the day? Many of the trainers recognize the importance of this, to list the 1 or 2 or 3 things that are critical to your success that you want to get done today. List them in the morning. Think about them. Even before you're out of bed, they go onto your DMO. They go onto your list. And they are the first things that get done. Okay, I know. I've got 2 kids. I got to get breakfast on the table. I got to feed them. I got to take them to school. Okay, fine. But you got to make room in your life for the important activities, or you won't get to them. Bob, you want to take the next point? Take 5 long, deep breaths.
Maybe I'm just doing it right. Just breathe in right now. No, it's important just to breathe in and breathe out, Lynn. Just do that. Just get yourself, like Tony Robbins talks about, the things you first have to do in the first thing in the morning is condition your mind. Then you have to condition your body. And that's part of just conditioning your body, is getting yourself ready for success.
And how about smiling for no reason? Just flex those muscles. Smile. It takes a lot more muscles to frown than it does to smile. And forgive yourself for yesterday's mistakes. Banish them. Do you understand that the only person who didn't make mistakes didn't do anything? Do you understand how many times the top batter in baseball has struck out? How many baskets the top shooter has missed? Do you understand that if you are active in life, you will make mistakes? But there is no such thing as a mistake as long as you learn from it. It's a learning experience and move on. So now, having done all that, let me talk about, I think there's the unreadable graph, the unreadable slide. All right, this is my daily method of operation. You're welcome to have a copy of it. Now, I don't expect you to do what I do. Don't panic. Don't hang up the phone. It's okay. Stay with me. Mine starts at 4 o'clock in the morning. This is an Excel spreadsheet that starts at 4 o'clock in the morning and runs in half-hour intervals till 9 o'clock at night, and it has 7 days on it. There are 7 days in a week, the last time I checked. And I know you can't read any of this. It's okay. Conceptually, what I would recommend you do, and you can have mine and fill in the blanks whatever you want, is that you build yourself a little spreadsheet like this. Start it at whatever time you want in the morning and end it at whatever time you want at night, and put down the activities that you're going to commit to doing that need to get done. So you can keep this next to your computer. Better yet, paste it over your television screen so you can't see the damn TV. You don't need the TV. Turn off the soap operas and do the things that are going to make you move forward in your life and get you where you want to go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a detailed view of what my day looks like by simply chopping out the first little section of this, the top left quadrant. This one you'll actually be able to see. So what did I tell you I do? At 4 a.m., Tai Chi, stretch, make coffee. Yes, I start at 4 a.m. Might surprise you to know that some days I even start earlier. Bob starts at about 3, sometimes earlier. And we're not asking you to start at 4. We're not saying you have to do this. What I am saying to you is that you may have to start a half hour earlier your day from what it is right now in order to put the things into your day that you need to put into them to make your life successful. I come out, I hit the on button on the coffee pot, and I usually walk out onto the deck and I do my Tai Chi. I have a Tai Chi stretching routine I do virtually every morning. And no, I haven't been doing the complete routine recently because of the recent surgery. I have had a bump in the road, but I do it. And I tell you, I've been doing the Tai Chi for so long that I love it. Larry Hoffman does Tai Chi too, loves it. It's a great way to clear your mind and get your body into motion and breathe and stretch. And then I pour my first cup of coffee and plop down and I start my personal development. Right now I'm reading, what's the name of the book? It's Noah St. John's book. For some reason I have trouble remembering the name of his book. I always want to call it The Success Principles.
The Secret Code of Success, Len.
Thank you, Bob. The Secret Code of Success. And that's what I'm reading right now. By the way, that book list I gave you a little earlier, I have read every book on that list. I promise you. I didn't give you anything I haven't read. And I've read many of them more than once. I've read The Success Principles twice. I've read Napoleon Hill's book 3 times. So this is where my reading comes in. And then I do meditation. And as Bob knows, sometimes meditation is a euphemism for falling back asleep, sitting up on the couch, but it's okay. I close my eyes and I think about what's going on. Then by 6 o'clock, I'm ready to jump into action. That's when I film the Coffee with Len video. I give myself an hour to film the video, render it, do any editing I need to do to it, put it up, write a description for it, put it on YouTube, and do all the things I'm going to do with that video. So it's usually up by 7. Now, because of the recent time change, I'm back to getting up by 7. Last week it was by 8 because, well, the sun wasn't up. So, and I do them outside. Then I go to the things that are on your list to do too in the training, the mindset exercises. What do I want? I read. Bob has his Why Do I Love Myself? I have a 2-page vision of what my life is like, and I read it every morning before I get going, and every night before I go to bed. Now, I obviously don't read it before I get going, but it's on my schedule. I have set aside time for it. Now I go into the profit-producing activities, email, Facebook, connecting with people, connecting. So from roughly maybe 7:30 till 9 or so, profit-producing activities. Then I have the gym on the schedule or content. And notice I give myself a break on Sunday. Sunday's my one day of the week that I actually cook an unhealthy breakfast. I'll make bacon and eggs and stuff and stuff myself full of unhealthy food and then go take a nap. I give myself a break. The other days we're on a health kick and we're doing this healthy stuff and protein shakes and all this kind of good stuff. But notice I have gym or content. I have the gym on 3 days of the week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I have content on the other days of the week, Tuesday and Thursday. So I'm either at the gym or I'm making content. Oops. And as we come on down the list, it goes on. Then lunch, we hit lunch with Len 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, the webinar, and then the list keeps right on going. In the afternoons, a lot of times I give myself a break in the afternoon. If I've gotten the things done during the morning I wanted to get done, if I've got the content generated that I wanted to do, and et cetera, then maybe I'll give myself a break in the afternoon. But this is what I do. Now I realize, I'm full-time and I don't have a job and I don't have a 9-to-5 and I don't have kids to take care of. So I know that many of you can't put in the same amount of time that I put in. But I'm telling you now, if you don't find the time, if you don't make the time, if you don't program the time, you won't get there. You won't do it. So we're going to talk sometime later on in this program about having a savings account. We're going to encourage you to save every day, even if it's only a penny a day. And what we want to do is develop the muscle. We want to develop the habit of doing these things every day. So if you can only spend 5 minutes doing each one of these things, then spend 5 minutes. Hal Elrod talks about taking an hour to do his Savers morning workout, but he gives you a method to do it in 5 minutes. If that's all the time you have, spend 1 minute on each activity. What I want to encourage you to do is to do every one of the important activities every day, even if it's only for a minute or two. Why? Because you develop the habit. And when you have more time, then you can give it more time. So back to the beginning, consistency is the name of the game. Your DMO is going to be different from mine, but you need a DMO. Without a DMO, you will fritter away your time. You'll wonder why you didn't get anything done that you wanted to do. And 3 years from now, 5 years from now, those years will have passed by, and you'll still be sitting in front of the television, sipping a beer, watching the soap operas because you didn't do the activities that you need to do to move yourself forward toward the wealth. And I use that word now in the all-encompassing meaning of the word, toward the total wealth that you deserve and that you are capable of. And if you are on this webinar, you are capable of building the life of your dreams. You have everything it takes. You can do it. We can help. Winners take massive action. Are you a winner? Then get your butt in gear. Where do you see yourself in 1, 3, or 5 years? Get moving now, build momentum. And by the way, who are you grateful for today? And if you haven't told your wife you love her in 3 years, go tell her. She doesn't know. And ditto for you ladies. If you haven't told your spouse you love them, go do it. Because you know what? They don't know. They know you did in the past. So you can start, and what I'm telling you too is it's if you're in a relationship that is a little rocky, you can start to rebuild that relationship by being grateful for the other person and by pointing out the things that are good about them and the things you appreciate about them and beginning to not focus on the negativity. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I have for you today. Okay. Smiling creates less wrinkles. Yes. Anybody have any questions? Tasty too. If folks want, and Bob, you have to agree with this, if folks want, I can put everything up in the group. We can put a link to the replay. We can put a link to the PowerPoint. I'll put it in the group. If they have the PowerPoint, then they have my sheets. They're in there, or I can put the sheets in separately. She just told Button she loves her. Oh, how sweet, Chris. And you know what? She appreciates that, or he appreciates that. Okay. Rancy, thank you, Rancy. Bob, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, let's mention what's actually going to be inside of the group that we have in there right now. This is a 90-day workshop, and every single day we have our own little daily method of operation. There's a worksheet that's already in there right now for the first, I believe, 7 days right now. But every day, if you go to the files, there's instructions of what you can do every single day. Now, these are based mostly on your wealth. These are based upon saving money every single day. Like Len talked about, this is making habits. You have to create habits. You have to create rituals. Get yourself in the habit of saving money every single day. He says a penny. Now, a penny's not going to add up, but it's the action of doing something every single day. That's why Len does videos every morning. That's why I do videos every morning. If you get into the habit of doing them, if you do it 4 times a week or 5 times a week, it's not as important as doing it every single day. Whenever you want to do something, you have to do it every single day. And this whole program is about creating a new blueprint, a whole new blueprint of how you can create a new life for yourself. And finances is it's not the whole piece of the pie, but it's a big piece of the pie. So it's really important that you take care of that, along with your mindset, along with your health, your body, along with your relationships. And one thing we didn't mention, probably the biggest piece is our connection to our soul, to our spirit, to God, to everything that's out there. There's 5 big pieces, and we're going to cover all of those pieces. But this one, we actually have worksheets in there every single day that you can actually do. And what I do, I don't know if you can see me, but I actually bought a diary. I bought a little diary, and I'm writing each sheet inside there. And if you didn't come in earlier, what I also did is I created a love letter to myself that I put inside of a little sheet like this, protective sheet that I'm keeping right in the very beginning of this book. So if I wake up in a bad mood, which I never do, but if I did, I have this little thing where I look at, and it reminds me of all of the good things that I've done throughout my life. Now, not everything's there, but there's nothing bad in here, so it's a good way to remember that. So everything that you need for finances is inside this group in the files section, and then everybody can contribute. They can add. They can whatever you want to do, and we're here to answer questions throughout the whole program. And this whole thing is all about creating momentum going into 2016, as Len mentioned at the very beginning. So if we start now and we go right through Thanksgiving, we go right through the whole Christmas season, enjoy yourself, but still do the things you have to do. When we get to 2016, trust me, you're going to be ready. We're going to blow through 2016 with passion, with enthusiasm. This is going to rock it. Trust us.
All righty. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Your life is dead ahead. We're coming for it. Okay. Time to pull the plug. Call it a night.
Did it within the hour. That's great.
Yep.
No question. I can't see the chat. Is there any questions at all?
I'm watching. You can't see the chat?
No, it disappeared during the whole webinar. It used to be there, but it's gone.
Well, you're probably over on the left side of your screen. You can find a button to re-enable it.
I tried that.
You did, okay. Rancy was gifted a quarter by the universe today. Chris wants to put Jeanette Maw's interview up in the group. That's fine. Chris wants added to the group. I'm looking back. I'm trying to go back through. I don't know how long you've missed the comments, Bob. Jake had his computer froze. He wants the replay link. I'll put the replay link up. Great job, Sandy says. Great job. Loved it. Len, thank you for speaking truth. I'm grateful for you and Bob and the rest of the group we have here. Chris told Buttons she loves her. Smiling creates wrinkles, says Debbie. I'm smiling now, says Vivian. That's as far back as I can go in the chat. So I think we're there. Rancy says, thank you. I think we're there. If anybody else, I'm going to sort of give it there's a time delay in the chat, as those of you know. If you type something in and push send, we won't see it for maybe 30 to 40 seconds. So I'm sort of giving it that a little bit of time. I hope you got massive value out of this. If you got value, I'd love to hear it. And if there's anything I could do to make it better, I'd love to hear that too. Other than that, I think we're all done. It must be Miller time somewhere. Might as well be here. What do you think, Bob?
It's always Miller time for me, Len.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate you coming. And both Bob and I are grateful to you for being part of this and being part of our vision for moving forward. We're going to do everything we can to make this a just knocked on, rock and roll, wonderful experience. I'm going to hit the stop broadcast button. Here we go. We are done for tonight. Bye for now.
Good night.